Welcome back from a long weekend. Today we are going to start our third lesson on dividing with fractions, and our I can statement is here in the middle. I can solve measurement division story problems by using pictures. This is what we've been working on, but today our answer is going to look a little different than it has in the past. So let's do a warm-up because it was a long weekend. You have 2/3 of a pound of candy hearts. You put together small bags, each weighing 1/9 of a pound. How many bags did you make? So here on the left, I have a picture of candy hearts. You often see them around Valentine's Day. So I have just less than a pound of candy hearts, and I'm going to take this giant pile of candy hearts and I'm going to put them into some bags like this one over here on the right. If you didn't see that, I'm over here, right? So I'm going to put them into smaller bags so I can give them away to the people that I love. But I want to know how many bags that I can make. So this question is really saying, I take the candy hearts and I break them up into small groups. This question is saying, I have 2/3 of a pound and I'm going to break them into groups of 1/9 of a pound. So here's a picture, right? From here all the way across represents 1 whole pound, all the way across. But notice that I didn't color in all of it. I colored in 1, 2, 3. I colored in 2 out of the 3 parts. So this picture here is 2/3 of a pound. I want to know how many ninths are in this, right? That's a little bit tricky to think about how many ninths are in this. So I'm going to change my picture a little bit so it's just a little bit easier, right? I'm going to change my picture into this. I want you to notice if I copy, I'm going to do the best I can. If I copy the outline here and I drag it up, it's the exact same amount of gray. But now, instead of having 3 total parts, now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 9 total parts. There they are. And 6 of them are colored in. So there's our numerator, 6/9. So this question, instead of saying how many ninths are in 2/3, I can change it so that it says how many ninths are in 6/9. And now, because this bottom picture is already broken into ninths, now I just need to make groups of 1 because 1 was the numerator. And it's really sometimes confusing to think a group of 1 because if you're just hanging out by yourself, you don't think of it as a group. Usually you think of that as multiples, but we're going to call these groups of 1. So here they are. Here's my first group. Grab another one. My second group. I'm going to circle another 1. There's my third group. I'm going to circle another group of 1. There's my fourth group. I'm going to circle another group of 1. There's my fifth group. And my last group of 1. Here's my 6th group. So if I want to know how many ninths are in 6/9, and remember I'm going to take each ninth and put it in a bag, I can then grab this bag, maybe, see if it lets me here. I know it will, I just got to press on things right. Nope, let's try again. Sooner or later I'll figure it out. All right, I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste, I'm going to paste, I'm going to paste. All right, let's see if this is enough. Here is the number 1. This ninth, here's my number 1. Here's my number 2. 2, that one goes in this bag. Here's the number 3. That one goes in this bag. There's my third 1/9 of a pound. Here's number 4. That one goes in this bag. I'm almost done. And at this point, you can probably see that I'm going to need 2 more bags. Paste, paste, and that's going to be number 5. There's my 5th group and number 6. So each one of these bags holds one of these parts, which was 1 out of 9, so that's 1/9 of a pound. So the question at the very end says, how many bags did I make? Let me erase so you can see that. The part that's still blue and highlighted says, how many bags did you make? We made 6 bags. So I'm going to write that in. We made 6 bags. All right, so at this point, we're going to do a very quick reflection. In all of our division work, our answer has been a whole number. But today that's going to change. Today, we will model how to interpret a remainder by using a picture. So there's going to be a leftover after we divide, and we're going to have to name that remainder. All right, here we go. You have 3 pounds of fish. I picked salmon. Here that is, right down here. All right, I've got 3 pounds of fish. I'm going to have a party. At my last party, there was ice cream. There was Ben & Jerry's. At this party, I'm going to serve each person 2/3 of a pound of fish. Not 2/3 of a fish, 2/3 of a pound of fish. And I want to know how many full servings are possible. And if there's a leftover, how I can name the amount that's left over. All right, so I'm going to do some estimating first. Get rid of that arrow. All right, estimating first. Do you think there is at least 1 serving? Do I think there are 3 servings? So here's my fish. I have 3 pounds of salmon. Here's my first person. That person gets 2/3 of a pound. That person loves fish, so he's got a happy, smiley face on. All right, so 2/3 of a pound is less than 3 pounds, so I can definitely serve 1 person. I'm going to draw an arrow. I can serve this person. Can I serve the next person who's also smiling? Could I give this person 2/3 of a pound? Is there enough remaining to be able to give that second person 2/3 of a pound? What do you think? All right, I know that 2/3 plus 2/3 is 4/3, and 4/3 is a little over a whole pound. So I can absolutely serve 2 people, but that other part of the estimate says, can I get 3 servings? So I'm going to draw one more face here. One more face, put some eyes, all right? I don't know if it's gonna be happy or smiley yet. It's gonna depend on if this person gets fish. 2/3 of a pound. Out of space. Oh well. All right, put that D on the bottom there maybe. 2/3 of a pound. All right, so if 2/3 plus 2/3 is 4/3, then if I add another 2/3, I should get 6/3. So my question is 6/3 of a pound, is that less than 3 pounds? Well, I know 6 divided by 3 is 2 pounds. So if I give this last person 2/3 of a pound, I've only used 2 pounds so far. So yes, I can get 3 servings to that person. So we'll give them a smiley face too. All right, we're actually going to solve this problem now, and it's going to look a little like what I've been drawing out. But instead of having one big chunk of fish that's 3 pounds, I'm going to break that into 3 pictures of a pound, right? So you can still see down here all together, this is still 3 pounds. 1 pound plus 1 pound plus 1 pound equals 3 pounds. So that first person from up above, that person, the red smiley face person, got 2/3 of a pound. So I'm going to draw this, all right, try and make them as equal as I can, all right? Let's use black. All right, so I'm going to cut this into thirds because this person got 2 out of the 3. So here is my first person. So I'm going to write a 1 and a 1. This is my first person's fish. Okay. My next person gets 2/3 of a pound. So I don't have enough here for my second person. I'm going to put a 2 there, all right? But they need 2 parts because they need 2 of those thirds. That means I need to take my next pound and split it into 3, all right? So this person, there's their second piece, right? They get 2 parts, and there are 3 in each hole. So now I've fed 2 people. Interestingly, if I count them now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember we said 2/3 plus 2/3 was 4/3? There it is. Oops. All right. So I clearly have enough for the next person. They're hanging out right here. Here's 1, 2. Maybe I'll use a different color. Here's 1, 2. Here's my third person. All right. And I still have a whole other pound hanging out over here. All right, so I need to divide that one into thirds because the denominator was 3. Each pound gets cut into 3. Here is my fourth person's. They get 2. But what about this part that's left over? This is the tricky part in dividing and having a remainder. So I have these 4 circles. Instead of calling them circles, let's refer to them as what they really are. Here's the first person's fish. This number 2 is the second person's fish. And number 3 is the third person's fish. And number 4, there is the fourth person's fish. So far, 4 people each have 2/3 of a pound of fish. So we need to figure out what to name this last piece here. Now, this last piece here actually has 2 different names. If I look down on the bottom, I can see underneath each fish, I have the word 1 pound, 1 pound, 1 pound. So if I want to think about that last piece in the term of pounds, of whole pounds, then I would say I have 3 parts in this entire pound. 1, 2, 3, and I have 1 of them circled. So I have a leftover amount of 1 out of 3, 1 out of those thirds. This leftover amount, sorry, just trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. This part right here can be referred to as 1/3 of a pound. And let's look at that one more time. This is 1/3 of a pound, because it's 1 part out of the 3 that I need. However, 3 that I need to make a whole pound. However, if this question is really asking me about servings, how many people are we serving, all right, then I'm not going to look at this last piece in terms of the weight of the fish. I want to look at it in terms of the servings. So look at every group that we made. The first person got 2 parts. The second person got 2 parts. The third person got 2 parts. That one's harder to see. I am highlighting it. The fourth person, this one might be even harder to see, pink on pink here. The fourth person got 2 parts. So if there was one more person who was going to get fish, they would get 2 parts. But I don't have 2 parts. I only have 1 part here. This last one is only 1 part of the 2 that I need. That means that last piece is half of a serving. Let me rewrite that so I have enough space. It's half of a serving. It's 1 out of the 2 that I would need to serve the next person. So it's half of a serving. I have 4.5 servings, but that half a serving is also 1/3 of a pound, right? It's 2 names for the same thing. We are going to practice this in class. Please, please, please make sure that you come to our synchronous meetings this week.